That's what I came up with. That
We
was the summary.
wow.
We are live. We are live. We are live. Happy Wednesday, and we are back.
Yes, we are back.
We are
It's so
back.
good to be back here.
Mr.
Happy
Henderson
Wednesday.
is in back in Mr. Henderson form and fashion.
No, my daughter Hyacinth is back in highest in form of fashion. She just do it, just do it. You know.
So what he's referring to is the title of today's show. So I titled it "What Are You Telling Yourself?" Mr. Henderson doesn't like that title. So pretend like you don't see that title. You're not reading those words. Pretend like those words are not there. Here's the new title of today's show.
Well, I came in this morning. I said, "Hi, see, I want to talk about victim thoughts will stunt your growth
Mm-hmm.
and leave you stagnated." Because a lot of people subconsciously don't know that they have victim thoughts. A lot of us don't. Can you imagine uh, just being conscious of your thoughts and how your thoughts get you where you want to go? And if you really knew that and knew how to really work this seemingly magic, this phenomenon, we will be much better off, each and every one of us. You know, our thoughts are so powerful. Everyone who is listening, looking at this show, let me tell you something just in case you did not know. Wherever you are in this time and place in life, you are there strictly because of your thoughts. And a lot of us have victim thoughts. Somebody done something to us. You
So
know, we're black, you know, or we're fat, or we're Latin, you know, or now we're white. You know,
so what's the title of the show? And then we can do an intro. So I thought that I took what you said and I
no.
translated that to what are you telling yourself? But you said you didn't like that title.
So be careful.
What's the title?
The title should be Mind Your Thoughts. And mind your thoughts to make sure you're not um, self prescribing yourself as being a victim.
Got it. So the title is Mind Your Thoughts to make sure you are not self-prescribing yourself to be a victim.
That's right.
That's the title.
That's right. That's the title. I like that much better, you know, because it's very, very deep. And on this show here, transitions, my daughter and myself, Hyacinth, I am Robert Henderson Jr. I'm the president, founder, and CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. I started this company back in 1990. Okay. Now I am a certified financial planner. I'm a certified tax coach. I'm a stockbroker. I passed the stockbroker exam 36 years ago. I'm a real estate broker. I started the Henderson Realty Enterprises. Hell, shit, that's 30 years too,
Mhm.
you know, and Henderson Insurance. And we're a full service financial planning company. We really love what we do. This is not a job to us. This is our mission. We feel that we have been put on this planet to serve and help people. But first, we had to serve and help ourselves because although I'm Hyacinth's biological father, spiritual father, physical father, um, I found out early that I wasn't going to receive an inheritance to pass down to her. So I said, since I already know the handwriting was on the wall, my mother, God bless her, gave me love, told me to make sure that I don't do anything to run up against the law, make sure I didn't get on any drugs, and don't disrespect her. My mother just passed
August 27th.
August 27th. She was 85 years old. So I basically said, Mom, I'm going to keep that promise to you and never embarrass you. Carry myself like I have some sense, be respectful, love others, and share, and never think that I was all that. And I like that. And it's a balance. My daughter Hyacinth, when I found out that I wasn't going to get an inheritance because my mom struggled real good. She brought up 3 kids. I'm the youngest and her older sister. Then I went to work. I didn't have time to play, no time to get drunk, no time to be on drugs. I had to learn as much and have good thoughts. So I don't look at myself. I never looked at myself as being a victim or being lesser because I am inside of this body. I didn't pick this body. I didn't make myself because I would have been 7 feet tall. Everybody knows that. But I knew that invisibly, what you could not see, that's what we're going to talk about next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you so much for that introduction.
So I didn't finish yet.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So then I set out on the course to be prosperous.
Mhm.
And that's how we built the Henderson Financial Group. And I'm so happy my daughter Hyacinth, out of 5 kids, she said, Dad, I think you're on to something, especially how she was living, how she uh and how she liked my lifestyle.
I don't know
Anyway,
what you're talking about. I live a very simple life.
yeah. She wants to chauffeur, I'll drive. Okay. I don't know how simple that is. Okay, Hyacinth, tell the people, because we got to get into this.
I'm glad that you brought Granny up. We love her and miss her. And I want you to know that earlier this year, Granny made me promise her that if something were to happen to her before you,
Right.
that I needed to look after you.
Okay.
So now, like
That's
you
cool.
kept that promise to your mom for 85 years, it's time for me to give you something to keep a promise to me for the duration of your life.
Okay.
Okay, so you agree to that?
That's cool. I
Good.
want everybody
Okay.
to look at me. Anybody gonna help me? Help me. Pray for me too.
Oh gosh. Anyway, for those of you who are new here, we are the Henderson Financial Group, a full service financial planning and investment advisory firm. We are based in sunny South Florida. However, we have clients all over the world. I am not only Mr. Henderson's daughter, I am the co-CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. I've been here for over 20 years. I absolutely love what I do. I love learning. I love educating. I love empowering. I am a licensed stockbroker, a registered investment advisor representative, a life insurance and annuity broker, and a mortgage loan originator as well. So mostly I get these licenses so that I can be educated, and then I can educate you and then explain it to you in a way that doesn't talk over your head, but explain it to you in a way that you actually get it and you can implement changes. So that's really why I have the licenses. If I didn't need the education to spread the information, then it would be a different story, right?
Yeah, because those licenses really like tie you down. You can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do that. I mean, you can't say this in case of that. And people
It's
just
self-sacrificing.
It really is. Then they charge you all this money every year, and you got to pay. It's just
education,
it's
renewal.
just
I was
a
looking
business.
at that.
It's a business.
But hey, we want to be legit and follow these folks' rules. So here we are. So thank y'all so much.
But we have the knowledge, okay?
Right. Thank y'all for being here. Today we're going to talk about, what'd you say it is? Something about being a victim?
Be careful that you don't fall into the victim mode.
Yeah.
If somebody done something to you, you're like this because your daddy didn't do this, or your mama didn't do this, or you got divorced, or whatever. We are all here, and you will always be where you are based on your thoughts and your actions.
I agree. As I was on my way in today, and I shared this with you that we're in alignment, I was thinking about, what if you just told yourself a different story?
Right.
And that's in alignment with what you're talking about victimhood and victim mode, because oftentimes we make decisions based on the stories that we are telling ourselves. And most of the times those stories that we tell ourselves are limited. How do I know they're limited? Because most people are limited. They're stuck. They aren't excelling. They aren't evolving. They're stuck. And so when you think about it and think about where you are, I think this is a phenomenal opportunity for you to ask yourself, let's look at today. Don't even go too far deep. Don't go too far back. Just look at today. It's 12:30 in the afternoon, midday. What are some of the stories that you have told yourself so far today?
Yes. Positive or negative.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of fear comes in, a lot of mediocre stuff comes in. It's kind of the same thing. The reason why we're talking about this is the financial planning company is because on Wednesday, my daughter and I, Hyacinth, what we do is we talk more about the mind, because you got to get your mind right in order to perform and actually be at your best. It's all about the mind. What is your mental state? If you're a boxer, that's Muhammad Ali was so good, because he would always have his mind straight. Even if he get hit hard, he would smile and say, that's all. I mean, he was talking to himself. I mean, when life gives you lemons, you got to understand it's time for you to make lemonade. Don't just say, oh, that's all I got. I mean, you got to do something with it. So the reason why we're talking about this mind stuff is because, like I just said, you need it. It's a prerequisite for you going forward. It's like the steering wheel on a car. You cannot figure you're going to get to a destination if you don't have a steering wheel. You got to turn left and right, and that's all dealing with thoughts. So that's why on Wednesday we call this transition. Saturdays we talk more about product, sales, strategies, investment, taxes, stocks, real estate, and you get more out of it also. But before you get to that, you got to have the mindset to even hold it. I mean, if all of a sudden $1 million or $10 million or $100 million, just fall out of the sky to you, fall out of the sky to you. The question is, are you equipped? Are you mentally ready for it? And a lot of people are not ready for it. So that's why this transition show on Wednesday, we try to get you in the right frame of mind so you can deal with I would say, the unknown. So you can deal with your finances as well as your mental state. All right. So victim.
Let's talk about that. And so let's explain that there is a difference between experiencing something in which you were victimized versus holding on to a victimhood mindset.
That's a big deal.
And I want to acknowledge that because I don't want anyone to make the mistake of thinking that what we're saying is you don't have experiences or you don't endure experiences that are less than favorable to you and you feel like you were the victim, right? And so notice the language that I'm using: experience, feel. Not you don't have experiences or you aren't the victim. And the reason why I'm using the word experiences, because when I say experiences, I want you to know that experiences are temporary.
Yes.
And I think that's a large part of where people end up getting stuck because they hold on to an experience, whether it is a positive experience or a negative experience, or whether it's a favorable experience or an unfavorable experience. And they hold on to that experience without realizing that life continues to evolve. So when we go back to talking about the victim mindset, what we're saying to you is we understand that you could have had that experience. You may have had an experience in which you felt like the victim. But what we're saying to you is we don't want you to own that and embed that mindset into your mind and make that a way of life. Meaning, I went through this experience and now I am the victim, as opposed to I experienced being victimized. You're owning, I am the victim. And now, because I am the victim, my life is colored this way. I am viewing life through the lens of a victim. We want to distinguish between the two, and we don't want you to look through the lens of being a victim, because when you do so, you aren't seeing the complete picture. Does that make sense?
It make a lot of sense, because the only thing that you conjure up is pain and suffering.
Yes.
And stagnation. You know, I like to call, and they'll hear me around the office saying, I tell you, I'm really good at turning the page.
Yes.
I turn the page. I don't stay on that page. I turn the page. She's laughing because she's heard that term all the time.
You're stuck on that.
You stuck on that. I turn the page. I turn the page. I mean, why would I still be stuck on that? If something stupid happened to me, I'm not going to stay on that page. Next. I mean, because this is the pages of your life. And I want you to look at it like that. Each and every one of us. It will help you and it will serve you well if you look at life is not a snapshot. It is a journey. It's a movie. It's not stagnated. Mm-hmm. Now, if you still on that last page, some people, a lot of people, more than you can think, millions and millions of people, if you see them at a reunion, or if you just see them and you hadn't seen them in 30 years, or if you hadn't seen them since high school, all they could really talk about is high school. I mean, that some people, they went from the first grade to the 12th grade, or the first grade to the 12th grade, 4 years of college. And it was almost like no more brains for them. No more brains for you. This person right here will go from the first grade to graduate from high school. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Now, each and every one of us know those people.
Right.
They're the same way. They even have the same clothes. They never got rid of the clothes.
Oh my God.
And they definitely go to the same high school games. Now, they've been 50 years they've been out of school. They go right back to the same high school games. The teachers, all the coaches dead, but they're right there because they are still holding on to that. They cannot come into the new. Now, what happened if you was victim? Some people still say this girl quit me in the 3rd grade or the 6th grade. She left me, and he still don't like her right now. She's not even the same person, but he won't speak to her because he is victimizing himself or herself. A lot of that goes on more than we understand and we know.
It's interesting when you talk about who's calling me.
Yeah, don't they know you on your show?
Okay.
I'm drinking my peppermint tea. I want you to know.
Oh, good for you. What did you have for breakfast?
An apple.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
And for lunch, I'm going to have broccoli.
Oh, that's amazing.
I have more greens.
Very proud of you.
Yes.
Fruit and vegetables.
That's right.
Very
a lot of
good.
greens. Okay.
train of thought. Da-da-da-da, la-di-da-di, we like the party.
Okay, so
We don't cause
you
trouble,
tell
we don't
it.
bother nobody.
Okay, so what we was trying to tell you, a lot of us suffer from past events, and
I got it.
they
I
were
got
temporary events, and we keep them with us.
I got it. Okay, so let's give the people some work, right? So as you're explaining to you, and I hear you guys like, okay, this is making sense. I understand. I kind of understand what you're saying, but it's easier said than done. How do I go from the space of experiencing something in which I was the victim or I was victimized to not allowing that experience to anchor me down? Well, the first thing you have to do is do some reflection. You have to look at the experience. I want each and every one of you to always look at experiences and say, what is this teaching me?
What should I learn from this?
Yes. What is this teaching me? And so that's one of the ways that you can step up out of that quicksand of victimhood and just say, okay, all right, it happened. I've experienced it. I am not asking you to sweep it under the rug. I'm asking you to process through it and say, what is this teaching me? Oh, if this is teaching me this, then why do you think I needed to learn that lesson? Where else can I apply this lesson in my life? So when you start dissecting the events in your life and the experiences in your life in that way, you switch from why did this happen to me to why is this happening for me? Because every single thing in your life is happening to expand you, whether you like it or not. Some things happen to expand you, but the only way you'll get the lesson is to go through a little tension, right?
Yes.
How many times do we know, not to eat too much candy? I'll never forget. I probably was in second grade or first grade at this time because I was still at Biscayne Gardens Elementary.
Okay.
And by the time I was in fourth grade, I was at Joella Good.
Okay.
I used to love candy.
Oh yeah.
Used to, truth be told, I still love candy. I just am an adult now, and I know that
you can control it better.
Right. So I used to love candy. Now I remember this is back in the days when the students used to have Valentine's parties, and me and my brother, we used to catch the bus home from school, and so my mom wasn't home, and I was able to eat all my Valentine's candy, and I knew that I was not supposed to do that. And I ate the candy apples, ate all the candy until my stomach was hurting so bad that I was crying. And so I'm explaining this because oftentimes we know right from wrong. We know what we should not do. We know you might not want to do this, but we do it anyway. And so that's why sometimes we have experiences in which the one I had, I'm 42 years old. And I remember that when I was in the second grade.
Isn't that something?
Right.
Right.
I remember that from when I was in the second grade and I'm 42.
Right.
So oftentimes you think, well, why am I dealing with this? Why am I having this experience? Sometimes you have to have the experience so that you learn better, so that you learn and you say, okay, let me get this lesson in this way because I remember what came along with it. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. It stuck with me. And so now when I'm faced with another opportunity, I can make a different decision. So when you think about experiences like that, it'll help to pull you out of victimhood because I know that it takes work.
So you think victimhood comes to actually to the definition of victimhood? Would you say you feel like someone has done you wrong?
No, I don't want to say feel like people do people wrong, right? So there are times when people. And I don't want to I'm not a loving lighter, right? Like, oh yeah, no, that was just all a part of, no, people do some messed up stuff.
Right.
And you are indeed the victim at that time.
Okay. Now, how do you get out of that? How do you?
That's what we're talking about. You have to get to the space of processing through it. Now, oftentimes.
Now, can the person, because when you say, what are you telling yourself? So if someone victimized you or do something wrong or hurt you, and that person is gone and you still holding on to it. And you said something earlier, you said, what are you telling yourself? So in order to hold on to it, you have to be telling yourself something, right? So how do you get out of telling yourself something that's going to keep you stagnant and keep you in a hole? How do you get out of that and say, no, that was the past, I'm gone? That's really hard.
Right, I agree. That's why I say processing through it. We got to do the reflection, and it's good that the person is gone, because you ever experience something with someone or try to have a conversation with someone and you're speaking to them and they just don't see your point of view at all.
Yeah.
And you almost want to just shake the stuff out of them and strangle them because they just don't get your point of view.
Right.
So I brought that to the conversation because I want you all to know that you don't have to have the other person's approval, acknowledgement, or acceptance in order for you to pull yourself out of victimhood. Like you can literally pull yourself out of that and say, you know what? I don't want to be in this quicksand anymore. I can get up. What do I need to do to get up? First, let me look at the situation. Let me assess the situation. Let me assess what happened. Let me assess the role that they played. Let me assess the role that I played. Let me assess the thoughts that got me here. Because as you started the show, you said, right now we are seated in the place that I forget how you said it, but basically
we're right where we belong. Our thoughts
based on our thoughts.
Based on our thoughts.
Based on our thoughts. So wherever you are experiencing, it is based on your past thoughts
and actions.
Right. So when you reflect on a situation, you're like, dang, I was in this messed up relationship, or I was at this deadbeat job, or whatever the case may be, or I had a baby daddy who won nothing, or all these different things. You have to reflect on your parts of the situation.
Right. You do have to. Now, how I deal with it, when the question is it's hard, how do you deal with it? I mean, Antonio talks about this, and Tavares, you talk about this. I'm really big on turning the page. First of all, let's say that I come across someone and they say, hey, Henderson, I want you to come outside or something. I got a brand new car. I got a brand new car and I'm doing this and I'm doing real good. I hear differently than a lot of people. I have trained myself to hear what that person is saying. Two things always going on. The person is saying, come here, look at me in my new car. I just got a promotion. I'm making money. I'm doing all this. And that's what verbally it sounds. That's the auditorial part of it. But what I hear is a person that needs some attention, a person that needs love, a person that needs to feel like he's doing or she's doing something. So rather than me hating on them, what they're saying, I'm looking at them like, poor fella, saying, oh, that's so good. And then I encourage them because I know that's what they need, So, and even when someone does something to me or perfectly financial planning, helping clients, when I'm telling them to do this and they won't do it, I used to, early on in my career, I would get upset and say, this dummy, why you won't do it? But now what I say is, oh my God, they haven't developed there.
They're not ready.
They're not ready there. So there's no sense in me talking. It's like I'm trying to talk to a hippopotamus and trying to make a hippopotamus swing through the tree like a monkey. This guy, the hippo, is not going to do it. And the only one who's going to hurt themselves trying to talk to the hippo is me. And I'm pleading with the hippo, get out of that water and get up in the tree. So when you start looking at people, especially when people do things to you and they say things to you, that means that something is going on with them. Because remember, it's all about love. When you're in a good position, in a good place, you just want to be in love and happiness. Now, there's so many people that are in dark places and they're victims, and they will poke fun at you and say something to you and say this, I don't like that dress and I don't like that. It's not about you. You don't let them take you down. You feel sorry for them. That's why even the scripture says, when they, when they slap you, oh, that's a little different. When they slap you, turn the cheek. That's a little, I haven't got to that point yet.
Me neither. That's why I told why don't post your children, because I haven't got to that point where I'm gonna turn the other cheek about them.
When they slap you on this time, turn the other cheek.
Nah, it's going down.
I'm trying to get to that.
Right.
But y'all get my point. y'all get my point.
You ain't gonna just sit down and take it. Huh?
Yeah, well, you get the point. They slap you on this cheek. Maybe you back up a little bit. They try to slap you again. Maybe you miss. But you ain't gonna, I'm not to the point where I turn and say slap this side too. But y'all get my point. So when you start looking at people, a lot of people are hurting and they are expressing it physically and materialistically. I'm so comfortable, wearing the same jeans on a t-shirt because I know that I could go out and buy what I want to buy. So that really makes me liberated, makes me feel good. I don't really have to impress people with things and stuff. And I'm so glad I'm at that point that I can do that, and that's where you want to be. And it's the same thing in terms of, so when people try to make you feel victim, I give you case in point. Like, I don't have anybody who I hate. I don't have anybody because I don't want to give them that kind of power. I know that a lot of people are on different levels and different consciousness. So I'm quickly reminding myself that they are on different levels and different consciousness. I mean, it's like a 12th grader trying to get mad with a preschooler.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
the preschooler thinks that they're in the 12th grade. I mean, think about like DJ. If he's 5 years old, he know everything.
He's a very smart individual, though.
But he always saying, "I know.
Right.
I
got
this.
it. Right.
I got this. I know how to do this." And he didn't never even seen it or know how to do it. You know. But you don't debate with him and say, "How could you know? You're only 5 years old." You know, because that's where he is. You know. So mainly what we're trying to say is this will sneak up on you, and you have to. It's all about you and your thoughts and what you're telling yourself. It's always because what you and your thoughts telling yourself penetrates far more than the outside world and what they're telling you and what they're saying to you.
Yeah. So segueing from victimhood to what are you telling yourself? I think it's such a magnificent thing that you can really tell yourself whatever it is that you want to tell yourself and then go do it.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And we have evidence of that because I hate to talk about the scammers and the people like that, but they tell themselves whatever they want to tell themselves and they go and they do it. Do you remember a few years ago, it was this, he was a kid, he was a young Black kid, and he was portraying himself as a doctor.
Yes.
In Miami, Florida.
Yes, I remember that.
They had his mugshot and he had on the white, doctor's vest or whatever it is, and the stethoscope and everything like that. And they arrested him.
Yeah.
And he just says he's a physician.
In his mind.
Yeah. And he believed it so much so that he was telling himself that, he was telling other people, and people were coming to him, allowing him to operate on him. I think he was doing like some kind of cosmetic surgeries and stuff, allowing him with no medical degree, no medical experience to operate on them. And it wasn't a problem until it was a problem. Until, oops, something went wrong. I guess I got to go to medical school for that, but I skipped that part. So now something went wrong. But I think that is such a beautiful display of you are whatever it is you say you are. And so that's why I titled the show, the subtitle, What Are You Telling Yourself? It really makes you think and reflect. As you talked about, your current position is a reflection of your past thoughts and actions. If you want a new position, why don't you start telling yourself new things?
Yes, but we have not been programmed to do that. And most people don't know how to do that. And
do it, Nike. Just do it. Now I'm acting like you now.
Yeah, but you have to do it more than one time. It's called repetition and become a habit.
Oh, yes. Every day you start at zero.
Right.
Oh, baby. Let's talk about that.
Repetition. And the higher you want to go and the faster you want to move, just think about an automobile. I mean, if you want to go faster than 20 miles an hour, you got to press the gas. I mean, you press something, you did something in order to go faster. And the faster you go, if you want to go higher and higher, you constantly have to put more pedal to the metal. I mean, you have to, you have to.
So that's the action part of the telling yourself.
Yes.
So first you tell yourself what you want to be, who you tell yourself what you're going to do, who you want to be, and what you want to have. You tell yourself that, and then you actually take the action so that it can align with what you're telling yourself.
Imagine preschoolers, we were learning this. Imagine we were being taught this in school and right up to middle school. In high school and college, the world would be much more better, holier.
They were talking out of the sides of their mouths, because on one hand, they would be like, you can do anything, read a book, it's in the book, Reading Rainbow, like you can do whatever you achieve, you can do this, but then they wanted to have you conform.
Right.
To nope, not like this, little Johnny, not like this, Sarah, do it this way. And you're like, hold on, I thought you said I can do anything, but then you're stifling my creativity. Right. So that's what happened in preschool, elementary school. I mean, even I do car line at my son's school every day, right?
She's the best car liner.
Oh my God.
High school, they wanted to hire her
to do the car line. Please
tell people what the car line is.
It's telling grown folks to come on, and when you get here, tell your child to get out the car.
In other words,
so it's directing the traffic at the elementary school, or
right.
It's elementary middle, directing the traffic at the school and saying, come on, good morning. It's Winning Wednesday. Let's do it. Come on. And so sometimes, we get there and the parents just sit there, or they're
on their phone.
I'm like,
and they won't drive when it's time for them to turn.
But you've been waiting in this line.
Yes.
Wouldn't you think that but it teaches me a lot about human nature. Every now and again, I got a few students who, they don't want to go to school. They like, oh, and their mom is like, come on. I'm like, come on, you got to learn. But deep down, I want to say, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I never liked it.
I don't blame you.
Well, I like the
because
cafeteria.
you
and I
sound like
like-
your grandson now, PE, right?
I like the PE cafeteria and I
Right.
like the art class.
Right. The creativity stuff.
Yes.
But there's a few select, and they just be like, one, I'm like, dang, it's like the 4th week of school now. I'm still like toting you out the car, like, come on, baby, let's go. He like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
But going back to your point, they suppress us.
When you say
not
the system.
The system starts suppressing you at a very early age. That's why, as adults, when you have children in your life, whether they're your children, your nieces, nephews, whatever influence you have over children, don't suppress them the way that you were suppressed.
You should know better.
You should know how it feels.
Right.
So you should not tell them, oh, no, you can't do this.
Right.
Oh, no, you must do it this way.
Right.
Oh, do it for me. That do it for me is one of the greatest manipulation lines there ever is. Oh, just do it for me. That is manipulation 101. Do it for me. What about for yourself? Right. But when we start talking about you believing that you can do anything in the story that you tell yourself, I know I agree with you, Mr. Henderson. They didn't teach us that in school. And if they did out of one side of their mouth, then they suppressed us on the other side. But now that we're here, we have got to know that you can literally do anything it is that you tell yourself.
Yeah, because the system, and especially in America and probably all around the world, is that they didn't teach us how to think. They taught us what to think.
Absolutely.
And that's a big difference on what to think. Programming. What to think is programming. How to think is creativity.
Now that's so deep. When you say they taught you what to think, not actually the process of thinking, they told you what they wanted you to think
and what you to learn.
That's it. Like, this is what it is. Now keep repeating this, drill this in until it becomes a belief. And so now we have not only young humans, but older humans who have never been taught to actually think. You're so used to being programmed and someone telling you what it is that you should be thinking that you go and you regurgitate that to everybody else without thinking.
That's why so many people on drugs.
Don't get me started. I don't understand how people do. It's 2000.
No.
Why would you be doing drugs?
Because they're trying to get that out of the box feeling. They've been programmed. They're trying to get out. They want to use their imagination. They want to go to the moon. They want to just fly.
If you turn off the TV, turn off the social media, go outside in the sun, take your shoes off and sit down somewhere, you're going to get all the imagination you need.
Yes. But
because the problem that I have
on the corner selling that.
Right. And the problem that I have, see, you got me started on this drug thing. The people, because they start talking about these shrooms and microdosing and all this stuff.
Yes,
and I'm
psychedelics.
like, I'm looking at you and you don't live the lifestyle that I want to live. So how is it working for you?
Exactly.
Like, you're telling me all this, I should be doing this and that and have this experience, but you ain't on the moon.
No, you zoomed out.
Like what?
That's so I discovered, I know that I wouldn't be here the way I am now. I knew I wouldn't be this prosperous if I drank the Kool-Aid and was in a box and didn't ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You got to ask a lot of questions. Why, like even now, why the government, tell all of us to do a 401k? They're not looking, come on, they need us. Mm-hmm. And, why are they so generous? No, the government give it and they take it away. You just don't understand the big picture because most people just program and we do what we're told. You can't really start to think until you start to ask a lot of questions. Why? It's the same thing in politics. The far left is just as programmed as the far right.
Yeah.
I'm being honest with you. There's a lot of profit being the far left mongers. There's a lot of profit peddling the far right. It's not a whole lot of truth in it, and it's not liberation, and it's certainly not love and make you feel good. It brings a lot of stress on. And it's the same thing about what do you want to be when you grow up, a fire chief, a lawyer, or this, and there are a lot of people that study to be an attorney, and when they become an attorney, they hate it, but they put so much time in student loans, it's not as liberating. And it's really, a lot of it's not really, when you find out that the law says not so much who's innocent, but a lawyer's job is what they can prove.
Oh my God.
It's like, I know this guy did it, but I'm going to defend him because the other side can't prove he did it.
Oh
I know he did it, but they have to be able to prove he did it. Now, I know he did it. And even though you know he did it, you have to defend him because he's paying you, but you know he did it. But you know a way, because you're a smarter attorney than the people that's after him. You know how to maneuver and use the chess law, not tic-tac-toe, but the chess moves, and you're good at that. But then when you're an attorney and you're doing that, trust me, that's why a lot of them on drugs, they're attorneys. That's why a lot of them cry at night. They may make them a lot of money, but you can never, let me tell you something. Let me let all y'all know. And this is coming from a certified financial planner investments. You will never, ever reach the state that you want to, which is peace, clear conscience, if you don't discover your truth. There's no amount of money, there's no accolades that can quench your thirst if you don't have a good conscience, if you're not love, and if you're not sharing and helping. When you help someone and you really do it with no strings attached, and you're not conniving and doing scams, the highest point and zenith of each and every one of our lives is pure love, peace, and happiness, and having a good conscience. Now, a lot of people go about different ways trying to get that, and a lot of it's superficial. That's why you think a lot of wealthy people go crazy. That's not it. A lot of them commit suicide. That's not it. They said 90% of NBA players who make tens of millions of dollars a year are depressed and lonely. Mm-hmm. How do you think you making $50 million a year? Most people who not making $50 million, they're like, if I was making $50 million, I won't be depressed. Mm-hmm. But when you get up there, it's like the Wizard of Oz. You find out a yellow brick road, all that journey you go, and you get up there, you're like, this is it? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, where's the feeling? They fooled me, and you feel bad.
It's because they don't know truth, right? And so they don't know truth. And this doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete.
What are you telling yourself?
Or a lawyer, whatever we were talking about. It doesn't matter. You gotta learn truth.
Right.
You gotta get close to truth.
Love.
And when you do that, you will start to see that you have way more control over your life, your experiences than you were led to believe. When you talk about people who are making $10 million a year or whatever the case may be, and they're still depressed, what came to mind is that people pick their problems and they don't want to acknowledge that they chose the problem. What I mean by that is a lot of times people want these things. They want a newer car, a newer house. Actually, I had a call with someone earlier this week, and I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but a part of the story, I'm like, when did y'all get in this position to where every month you were in the red? When did you get here? Oh, well, it started when we bought the house, because before we bought the house, we didn't have these problems. And I listen, I'm like, okay, you go through send me this, but it aligns with what I always say. You pick your problems.
Yeah, you create them.
You literally pick and create your own problems.
You yourself.
What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself you have to have this, you have to do that? What are you, every single moment in time, I don't even want to say every day that you rise, every moment in time, you get to pick.
Yeah, what are you telling yourself?
What are you oh, I have to have this, I need that. But that sounds like accountability.
Yeah.
And that sounds like being in alignment with the truth and the light. And that's why you'll find that people who have amassed large amounts of money without understanding truth and principle, they're still not satisfied.
No, they still unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
They still, it's an awful feeling. Mm-hmm. I mean, so like I said, you got to get a good grip, and you want to find truth and understanding. Service. If you want money, you have to be in the service industry. You have to serve people. You got to help people. Conrad Hilton, Marriott, they got to build all these rooms. People need to stay, so that's how they got wealthy. You know what I mean? The Tesla guy, he came up with electric cars. And that's how he got, second billionaire. I mean, you have to service if you want money. You have to serve others, and the greater you serve, the more prosperous you become. It's not the lesser.
Yeah.
It's not the lesser, you know.
But people got it twisted these days. They don't want to serve and they want to be served.
That's right. They want to be
They,
served.
they don't want to serve. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to work. And they proud
Poor
of
person
Monroe
wanna be-
County.
A poor person want to be served.
Yeah. Yeah. And wonder why I don't have this, but I want this. You forgot you have to put something into that wood stove in order for it to give you some heat. It's your favorite, one of your favorite
Just
stories.
Gimme,
right?
gimme.
And it-
Gimme.
yeah.
So what are you really telling yourself? Are you telling yourself you're a victim? You can't do it when you are free with thoughts? Because your thoughts, wherever you are right now, your thoughts have gotten you there. Wherever you are, if you don't like where you are, change your thoughts,
Mhm.
change your habits, and take actions. I promise you, you can reinvent yourself as long as you have a pulse.
Overnight.
Yes, you can.
People, here's another thing. We think that people are really tuned in and people care. People don't care about you. They don't care what you have going on. Do you know how many people, me cutting my locks and getting my hair, many people like, oh yeah, you did have locks. The lady at Pilates, I think I told you this. I have
Yeah.
been going to Pilates for months.
Uh-huh.
And she asked me, mind you, these plaits come down to my ankles.
Right.
Are those hair extensions? Man, but I've been going to you for 3 months without this, without this hair. I've been doing this last week at the PTSA. She asked me, how long does it take to get your hair braided? And I said, you know, the first time you met me, I had locks.
They're not paying
Oh, yeah, you did. People are not paying attention.
And it's temporary.
And that is so powerful
It's temporary.
because you can reinvent yourself right now.
Yes.
You can decide. We're talking about what are you telling yourself? You can decide to tell yourself something completely different, create a completely different life. Just reinvent yourself right now.
Well,
And I promise you, nobody will care.
depends on.
They won't. But you'll be living the life that you want to live, and not nobody will care in a way like, oh my God, this is bad. But the reason I say that is oftentimes we don't do things because we care too much about what other people will say.
That's true.
We care too much about what they may think. Oh, they gonna think I'm this. They gonna think I'm that. They gonna say this. They're not even paying that much attention to you.
Here I go. You're gonna go buy this real $100,000 watch, and you're gonna walk out and you're gonna knock them dead. They didn't. You spend $100,000 on that watch. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. I promise you they don't. They're like, oh, okay. Oh, you got to point it out. That's where it goes back to what you said, where people are like, oh, let me show you my watch. Let me show you this, because you want that validation, because ain't nobody saying nice watch, bro.
Right.
Ain't nobody saying I see you dropped $100,000 on that.
Right.
Nobody's saying that. So now you find yourself seeking that external validation. Going back to what I said, you've created your own problem.
Yeah.
So very important point. Today is the perfect day for you to reinvent yourself. Change everything about yourself, a new mindset. One of the favorite things that I love to do is to clean out my closet. Clean it out. Change the look, change the number, change your activities, change your habits. And before you know it, people will see you and like, oh my gosh, you look different. Oh my gosh, how did you do this? You're over here. I used to see you hanging here. Now you're hanging there. Reinvent yourself. That was, you gotta go?
No, I was just looking at, because you kind of segue into
Mhm.
what I want to talk about next week. And it was, I wrote it down. It says things that are seen are temporary,
Mhm.
but things that are not seen are eternal.
Yeah.
We want to talk about
This
that.
might as well. Mine as well.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it today?
No.
Oh, I thought
I got an appointment.
Gotta go
Yeah.
go right now. Remember that commercial?
Gotta go.
Back in the days.
What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Because your thoughts are you. You're the thinker that think the thoughts. The good thing about it is nobody can block your thoughts. They can't even see them. They don't know what you're thinking. So you can really do some good thinking, but you got to follow up by action. Because a thought, we have 80,000 thoughts a day.
Mhm.
The problem is most of us think the same thing,
Mhm.
the same stuff over and over. So you want to be creative and you want to think a new thought and you want to follow it up with action, because a thought, like I said, they come and they just like disappear. Have you ever said, man, I thought of that invention and somebody did it. I thought of it 10 years ago, but I didn't do anything about it. I'm telling you, you got to follow it up with action. What else you going to do when you don't have time? You got 24 hours in a day. So you should do something that you want to do and it's going to help you to expand and grow. That's what we put here. I found out why we're here on this planet, why we were born. And it's really to expand and to grow, to love, to share. That's what it is. It really is. That's what we put on this planet. If you want to know why am I here, you're not just here to go and wear the new fashions, because remember, the new fashions, they're temporary. What we just said, that anything that you can see, and imagine we coming up in the first grade, kindergarten, middle school, high school, understanding that each and everything that we can see is temporary.
It's
mean,
gonna change.
It's gonna change. What I mean, even us, even your body. I mean, remember you was this tall, now you're that tall. Remember you was this skinny, now you're that skinny. Now you're this fat. All of us, everything. If we just had made that a part of our whole consciousness, like breathing in and out, if you just know that, you wouldn't be stuck on stupid, and you wouldn't be stuck on material things, and you certainly won't be stealing, robbing somebody for some car that's gonna be outdated 3 or 4, 5 years from now.
But now you in jail the rest of your life because you had a gun.
Because you want to steal a car.
Right.
That's
and
gonna
now,
fade.
Right. And now you in jail 20 years, 30 years.
And that ain't temporary. When they give you 20 and if you black, they give you 40, 50 years.
Right. And how could you do this to me? Well, you had a temporary thought, my boy.
That's right. You got a permanent position.
Right.
You're gonna be in them cells, and them cells are getting oh my God. Them prison cells are inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
I went to visit somebody. They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And they really trying to put America just want to put you in jail. Whatever you do, put them in jail. Put them in jail. Put them in jail.
You know, it's interesting that you said it, because I've been thinking recently about that. Like, if I may look at my phone while I'm driving and the little voice say, put it down. And when I put it down, I'm like, you know what? Put this phone down, because if you make a mistake and hit a pedestrian, they're going to put your butt in jail.
In jail.
Because it was a mistake.
That's right.
They're going to put you in jail.
That's why I don't ride my bike in the street.
And my mind, I'm like, but it will be a mistake. I didn't mean to. Do I deserve to be in jail?
No, they put you in jail.
They're gonna put me. So I think like,
well, they're gonna put you in jail if you don't have no money, especially if you don't have no money. Public defender can't help you.
Right.
See, already got
now I got to lawyer
cases.
up.
That's
now
right.
I got to get a hungry attorney ready to eat the case.
That's right. and you don't want to go to jail. Attorney say, bring me 100,000.
You know I ain't coming up off my money. What? You know, like I might. How long I got?
That's right. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, boy. Man, they didn't teach us, and you all know we have not been taught in this country on how to think. They tell us what to think. And if you think about it, 95% of the people do the same thing, get the same jobs, do the same pay.
That's right.
And the corporations that get all the money say, oh, this is what I'm gonna pay you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are you gonna do? Go to another one?
What you gonna do? It ain't enough, make it enough.
You're not thinking.
Right? Yeah.
So you always gotta be thinking it's survival. What are you thinking? You gotta ask yourself that. You don't have to say it out loud, but carry this conversation on with yourself and your loved ones, and just be open. There's no wrong or right, but just you want to be liberated
and free yourself.
You free yourself. I like that word. Free yourself. You'll feel a whole lot better. You know what I mean? What are you doing? Are you making others rich? Hey, instead of going out, girlfriends going out and spending $500 for 3 of y'all or 2 of y'all or 4 of y'all, so we're going to go to the house or whatever, and we're going to bring in, and we're going to cook some creative stuff, save that money, I mean, it's okay once in a while, but don't make it a habit of just spending your money. As you make the money you spend, and you'll have nothing to show for it. Because in America, you have to have a net worth. A net worth. That means after all expenses, liabilities, what do you have left?
It came to mind today when I was driving in here. Do you have enough assets to be angry? Do you have enough assets to be angry? If you don't have enough assets, you don't have no business being angry.
I always say, I don't, right now people say, I make a decent living, but I still don't have enough money to slap a white man and not go to jail.
I got you.
Do you have enough money to slap a white man and not go to jail? Probably not.
I like my version. Do you have enough assets to be angry? If not, redirect your focus and focus on your focus and get you some assets, and you won't have to worry about being angry.
You really gotta have some assets. You gotta understand what is income is not assets.
Just preach now.
It's not income. People come to us that make $300,000 a year. They ain't got $10,000 saved.
10,000, 1,000,
and they make $300,000 a year. And now they don't have no 10 kids. The kids are grown and they have no money. And you wondering, like, what are you thinking? And they got the newest this, the newest that, Oh my God. And like you say, they come with the expensive $1,000 cologne. That's temporary. I smell it and then you go and I don't smell it no more. And I've never commented on a man's cologne. I've never said, oh man, that's good stuff. Nice cologne. I'm like, and because it's gone. Right. It's not like I'm up in his face. You know what I mean?
What about a woman? Do you comment on a lady's cologne?
No. I've never said, oh, no. For what? I don't care less. It's temporary. If it stayed with me all day, you don't walk out the room and it's still, then I'll say, what is that up my nose?
Burning my nostrils.
Yeah.
Megan says, girl, that's wild. I did not notice you had plaits either. I assumed they were your locks.
Mhm.
So many people in person
Not paying attention.
Not paying attention.
Pay attention for that moment. Next day,
That's
wow.
it. Even Tavares, he was like, I said, Tavares, I cut my locks. Oh, you did? I thought you did something with your locks. I'm like, what? So I'm sharing this because it's not about me. I'm only sharing this because something as drastic as me cutting my locks and getting, listen, they go to my ankles. The plaits go to my ankles. People did not notice. So imagine if you tell yourself a new story and make changes about yourself and your life without worrying about what somebody's going to say, what they're going to think. And that hinders you so much. So let that be an invitation to be like, people are really not as tuned in as you think they are. People got their own stuff going on, and you should have your own things going on as well.
Yeah, you should.
So please focus on your focus and change. You can always reinvent yourself.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, always.
And stop thinking of victim thoughts, like somebody
Yeah.
did something to you,
Mhm.
that man did something to you, and that woman did something to you. Turn the page. Use my phrase. Start learning to turn the page, man. It's a
And
new day.
the person could be messed up, right? They could be shady and shiesty.
Oftentimes they are.
Right.
But you gotta, you can't.
Right.
You can't. You never, listen, you never want to become what you hate.
That's your favorite thing.
That's right. They've heard that too. If you see a fool,
That saved a lot of y'all.
don't
Singing
act like a
voice.
fool. Don't just
Yeah.
no, never become. If you think somebody's an idiot, don't you be an idiot.
Yeah.
Turn the page. You turn the page.
Mm.
You just turn the page. Learn to turn the page because it's a new day. And what you just witnessed was temporary, and don't stay stuck on it. What are you thinking?
Tell
What thoughts
yourself
are
new
you?
thoughts.
Yes.
All right.
We gotta go.
good. So are you doing the show this Saturday?
Yes, I got something exciting to talk about this Saturday.
Do you want to give them a preview? No.
40% match.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Join Mr. Henderson.
Whatever you put up-
James T. Thomas.
That's right. We're gonna give you 40% match on top of it.
40% match. And no, you cannot put it in and take it out next year.
No, you can't.
If
Don't-
you could do that, we wouldn't be talking to you.
we wouldn't.
We'll put our money in there and take it out next year. Get 40% on our money. So before you call, you can't do that. Okay.
But it's some good stuff.
Yes, it's
All
some
right.
good stuff. So Saturday at 9 a.m. and then 8 a.m., the Understanding Money Show with Mr. Robert Henderson Jr. and James T. Thomas. They will be here live on the air.
Yes.
Then on Monday at 12-ish, 12:30-ish, Tavares and I will be here from Mortgage Minded Mondays.
Good.
And then Mr. Henderson and I will be
I gotta check y'all show out, man. Maybe
We
I'll
sure
join
should.
y'all one morning.
I think that'll be phenomenal. You want to join
Yeah.
us this coming Monday?
Come on, how you see we right now? Let's stay right now.
You don't want to make no commitment.
I just stay right now. I
Is
said
that a yes or a no?
it's no big deal. I can flow with y'all.
All right,
Y'all got the mortgage license. I can flow.
You gonna flow? All right. Yeah, we'd love to have you, Mr. Henderson. Whenever you're ready. It doesn't have to be this Monday. It could be next Monday or the Monday after.
I got you.
Okay. All right, y'all. Until next time, stay safe.
Peace.